All right, everyone. Welcome to this year's NASCAR uh, Cup Series Championship predictions. My name is Brandon, and I'm here with my best friend Keith.
It's me. I'm here with my best bud Brandon, and it's one of my favorite times of the year. And it's surprise. We've done this like 3 times, haven't we?
Uh huh.
Or this
I
is number three.
Yeah, I think number three. We
It's crazy.
lucky number three. It's the Earnhardt. All the
Yeah.
answers are just Earnhardt this year. Earnhardt's the one driver that if he came back and said, "Hey, I want to run for this championship," they'd be like, "Well, there is this one loophole."
Put him on the track.
Yeah. I went back last year and checked our numbers, Keith, and I realized that we had 4 questions. I got 2 of them right. You got 0 right. It made me feel good about this because for anyone watching right now, it's kind of like as a NASCAR expert, I'm here to pour through the data and really look at what's going to happen. And then for you, I just send you a list of people and I say, here, choose a name between 1 and
Yep.
16 between this list, and then give me just a random idea. But I think it is cool to see because like I love NASCAR, but I suck when it comes to predictions and like the fantasy aspect. Like I'm pretty good when it comes to fantasy football, but when it comes to NASCAR, I suck. So I was very surprised that I did better than you than
I don't
last
know
year.
about that. I don't know if that's a big surprise, but hey, I'm glad that I could give you a win. And
Mm.
this year, the list of names, I thought it was very humorous. This year, the list of names you gave me, there are numbers beside them. You didn't even show me what those numbers meant. I just I just know where they're at in some sort of standing, and I have no idea what that graph is even trying to show me.
you know,
But I'm very excited to make my picks.
if this is Vegas, this is me walking up and pouring through it and saying, all right, well, Kyle Larson has a 4.5 finish, but Ryan Blaney, he has this finish in the past 5 intermediate tracks. You're just the guy that shows him in Vegas and says, like Larson, that's a cool name, or
Hmm.
Alfredo, I like pasta. Here you
Yeah.
go.
Put it all on black. Put it all. I'm betting it all.
All right, well, Keith, we're going to jump into this. The first question is who's going to be the 16th place finisher? Every year there's 16 people in they don't call it the chase now. I think they just call it running for the championship. I don't know what it is, but uh, one unlucky person, they finished last place in the thing. First person eliminated, or however you want to put it. This year, my 16th place finisher, Keith, is going to be Eric Almirola. All year, the Stewart Haas cars just have not had the speed. He was super fast at New Hampshire, but other than that, it's either lacking speed or it's just the worst luck in the world. So
Hmm.
I feel as though he will be the 16th place finisher.
I think that's definitely a good call. I always just make myself laugh just based on my reasoning before I say it. So I'm just gonna try to deliver this. I think Christopher Bell is
Uh,
going to be our 16th place finisher, and I'll tell you why. It's a good reason. That's not a NASCAR name, Braden. That Christopher Bell. What kind of? You don't drive cars. You're a financial advisor, Christopher Bell. Like when you go see Christopher Bell, you're not walking to a racetrack IMO. You're walking into Edward Jones' office, and there's a pudgy guy there ready to help you make some money on some stocks and bonds. I just don't think Christopher Bell's got it. I think kudos to him for being this far along, but 16th place at least, at most or whatever. Sorry, Christopher.
Keith, I just love your reasoning when it comes to this because there is no like like you said, it's not like you're pouring through the numbers and you say, well, his career at Darlington and Richmond is like this. I just I just wish that I could bring you to Darlington this weekend and have you in the stands and say that and just watch the like guy next to you be like, what in the world did I just hear?
Do you think they'd like my banana shirt in
I think
Darlington?
you'd get I think Darlington. I don't know. Darlington could go either way. I feel like some
Yeah.
would judge you, but there would be like anyone over like 50 would be like, man, that's a good shirt.
I love bananas too.
You just throw a good number 3 hat on and you'd be good to go.
I got one of those. I got one. I can pull it off the wall right now if I need it.
It's on the wall of fame.
It is.
So next up, Keith, every year there is a spoiler. There's someone who's not in the championship hunt that ends up pulling out a win, surprises everyone. Speaking of number 3, I'm going to go with Austin Dillon. I think he's going to be the spoiler. He's had a ton of speed. You've got the plate tracks, but also last year he was really good at Richmond. So I think that Austin Dillon is going to pull out the win, surprise everyone, and put the old number 3 in victory lane.
I love to see the old number 3 in victory lane. Unfortunately, my call is one Chris Buescher. I'm on. How do you say it? Is it Buescher? Buescher. Chris. Even better. Even
Go
better.
with the
Chris
most NASCAR
Buescher.
way to say the name, and you'll have
Chris Buescher. That's who I'm going with. I think he's going to pull out the win because, again, I really have very little to go on but their names. I consider them all to be people who drive fast. I think anyone on this list is capable of winning a race, and that's my naivete. But I think Chris Buescher, like, if Christopher Bell is working at Edward Jones, Chris Buescher is grilling. He's grilling like on Saturday. He is grilling. This man can make a mean rack of ribs. He's got that Traeger grill going. He's smoking brisket, man. I think winning this race may be a surprise to some, but I think Chris Buescher's got it in him based on just that punchy name. It's going to punch him right to the front.
Last week he finished second in the race, so not too far apart. They did find an illegal sway bar in his car, though. So
did they?
Yeah.
Hey, Chris Buescher, man, he's just trying to get that W.
But that's the asterisk. You're not saying that he will keep a win, but he will finish first and he'll be the first to cross the finish line.
Yeah. Rocket boosters under his car.
Yeah. When we get to Phoenix, we're gonna have our final 4, the 4 guys that are battling out for this championship. Keith, my final 4, I'm going to put 2 Hendrick cars in it. I'm going to put last year's champion Chase Elliott. I'm going to put this year's superstar Kyle Larson. Ryan Blaney, he's been on a hot streak, but really all year he's just been consistently up there. I think he's going to make it through to the final 4. My final guy, I thought about putting another Hendrick car in, but I don't feel good about it, Keith. I don't think an organization – Gibbs did it, but I don't know. I just feel like it's weird. So I'm going to put Martin Truex Jr. as my 4th guy heading to Phoenix, battling for the championship.
I'm sure that you'll probably be 100% right, and I hope so because I've got 3 of your 4 names. I also chose one Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, and Martin Truex Jr.
Mm-hmm.
But I traded out. Who was the other guy that I don't have that's yours?
Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson. He's number 1 currently, right?
He is. I would say that probably right now he is probably 60 to 70% of everyone's pick to win the championship.
Sorry, Kyle Larson. I'm trading you out for Denny Hamlin because I'm hungry for breakfast and I love Denny's. So Denny, and I really should watch him at least a YouTube video before we get started. But it's also it's fun for your audience to see me throw darts at a wall. So Denny Hamlin, that's a fun sounding name. I've heard it several times before, and I'm hungry for breakfast, and I'd love to have some Denny's right now and some Hamlins.
Mm-hmm. So last year, that was actually Kevin Harvick kind of was in Larson's role, where he had, I think, I want to say 8 wins going into the championship. Everyone said, yeah, he's definitely going to win the championship. He ended up having 3 bad weekends in a row, and he was out of the championship. So it's not too far-fetched to see Kyle Larson out of the championship. If he does miss it, I'm just going to blame you with bad luck or something.
Sure, send them on my way.
And your 2021 champion, my choice is going to be Kyle Larson. I think he's been dominant all year. I think he is going to have the Cinderella story and come back and win the championship.
I'm going to do a blast from the past for my champion pick. At least it feels like a blast from the past because I feel like when we first met, I want to say that you wore some Martin Truex Jr. shirts back in the day. And so in favor of nostalgia and just the value that I put on our friendship and how long it has lasted, I think Mr. Truex Jr., I think Junior's coming for the championship, Brandon. I think it's going to be a junior type of year.
That's what NASCAR has to have. As long as you have a junior in victory lane, then
That's
everything is
right.
right in the world.
That's right.
Finally, I gave you a bonus one where it's just
Mhm.
kind of at the end of these 10 races, what is going to be kind of the story. And for me, I went back and forth with it. I thought that there's going to be a new team that's announced. Someone might announce their retirement. But I think the story at the end of these 10 races is going to be Hendrick's performance. And I don't know that if I feel comfortable with predicting them continuing to dominate or them falling apart. Because I could see them fall apart and all four guys miss the chase. And I could see them realistically maybe put all four drivers into the chase
Mm.
or the final four. So I think after these 10 races, one way or another, we're going to be talking about Hendrick Motorsports, either
Okay.
giving up this championship or just dominating these last 10 races.
That will be unfortunately, Brandon. If what I have planned is happens, that will be page 3 news, whatever that is, because what happens here is going to be on page 1. Let me tell you, the big story at the end of all this final race is over. Lights go down, fog machines, strobe lights, music plays, clips from popular movies such as Jungle Cruise, uh, Fast and the Furious films, that movie where the big gorilla comes to fight. All clips from those films play across the big jumbotron. Who walks down the center of the grandstands but Dwayne the Rock Johnson? He's clapping. He's got a microphone. He's going wild. He walks to the center of the. He walks to the track. He delivers a rousing speech, announces that he is going to form his own NASCAR racing team for the next season, in which he will be the driver every race next year. This is how it starts. Fog machines, The Rock coming down, asking the crowd if they can smell what The Rock is cooking, revving up that car. His team will be called Rock and Roll. The crowd goes wild. NASCAR's back. NASCAR's back above football, above soccer. It is the biggest sport in the whole world. Everybody's watching from all the top end of the North Pole all the way down to Antarctica. Changes the game.
Keith, as much as I want to call you crazy for this prediction, I go back to if it was a year and a half ago, if you would have told me, Brandon, guess what? Michael Jordan is going to be an owner. Or if you said that Pitbull, if you told me that Pitbull was going to own, I would be like, Keith, that is ridiculous. But as we've seen, that nothing's impossible. The
Nothing.
Rock has the money. He has his wrestling background. He can unite all of the South and the North. We are divided, but here's this icon both in the ring and in Hollywood. The Rock right now could unite everyone. He could boost NASCAR to the next stratosphere. Heck, he might even put a second car out for Stone Cold Steve Austin to hop in for the 500.
It's so perfect. I didn't even think about that angle. You're right. He's a man of the ring and a man in Hollywood. He truly lives in both worlds. It could work. We got to get on the at least get on the. I'm gonna get on the phone to The Rock today. We're gonna see what we can get going.
So 1-800 like The Rock. That's the number you call. I don't know what that number is, so anyone listening, I don't recommend just dialing that number. Could be a very weird place, but
1-555 The Rock. Call that.
Well, Keith, I really enjoyed these predictions. I enjoy this because there's a lot of stuff out there where people just have all these expert analysis, but I like with this that you have just the blind roll of the dice, and then you have me as an expert just showing how useless data can really be.
Truly useless it can be.
All right. Well, Keith, I really appreciate it. The fans appreciate out there. They always yell for you to come back on here.
I love it when they yell for
cries. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let us know what your predictions are in the comments, and enjoy the next 10 weeks of NASCAR. I have been Brandon. He has been Keith, and we will catch you next time.
Bye.